What is up, everyone? I'm gonna make this video as short as I possibly can. My thoughts on The Last of Us 2 after completing it. I'll start out with my thoughts on the story. The story did not impress me 100%. And what I mean by that is, it's an eye for an eye story. We've seen this before in movies, we've seen this before in video games. However, how Naughty Dog pieces it together is done well. It's done really well. So, but at the same time, if you play it for yourself, you'll know what I mean. It's still a great game, don't get me wrong. It's not like the first story where it was an original, where, hey, you're supposed to transport this girl. Oh wait, you think of her as a daughter to you. So on. You'll know how the story of the first one is, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to emphasize too much on that. This one, spoiler alert, if you haven't played the game yet, there will be spoilers in this review. So if you don't want to know, please click off. Joel dies. You watch him die. Abby kills him. Obviously, that's true from the leaks. And so you survive. You get the crap beat out of you. And you go on a revenge heist, as it were. So that's where it leads. I'm not going to go into every single minute detail about it, but again, it's an eye for an eye story. We've seen it before, it's been done before, but it hasn't exactly been pieced together the way Naughty Dog does it. Naughty Dog did a great job at putting the pieces together, and you'll go through the game thinking, oh crap, I did this, and you'll see the other end of the spectrum on how, from the other person's perspective, you're like, oh my God, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. You'll know what I talk about when you play it for yourself. So that's, like I said, the story to me was, I've seen it before. Gameplay-wise, the gameplay and the gameplay mechanics, very well done. The crafting abilities, same as you would expect from the last game, except you have a few more things. You eventually get holsters, so you're not having to click back your weapons and stuff. You still have to do that, but you have your short gun, your handgun holster, and you got your long gun holster, just like the first game. And of course, you have different weapons that you'll have to select between the two different options you have there. You have trip bombs this time, you still got the Molotovs, you got smoke grenades, same thing, health kit. It plays exactly how the last game did, how Last of Us 1 played, same thing. The graphics, top notch, probably the best looking Naughty Dog game to date. It was a very good send off to the PlayStation 4 as their last PS4 title. And I'm sure that when PS5 comes out, I'm sure they're working on a remaster, as it were, for PS5. More than certain. I'm sure if it's not 120 frames per second, it's definitely going to be 60. I guess we'll see. Accessibility options in the game are well done. Most I've ever seen in a video game. You can customize everything from your subtitles down to the color blindness, everything. There's so many different options there. There's no grounded difficulty mode, but there is a survivor difficulty, which they up the difficulty for survivor to make it seem like you're almost playing like grounded. They just don't have the actual grounded title in there. Once you beat the game, you unlock New Game Plus. This time in New Game Plus, they did it a little differently. It's called New Game Plus Lite. There's a light difficulty. Say if you beat the game on normal or light, it'll be light plus. It'll be light, but it'll be slightly bit difficult. A little bit more difficult. It's each difficulty setting. This time around, there's no difficulty trophies. So you don't have to go through there and beat on New Game Plus Hard or New Game Plus Grounded or New Game. There's no difficulty. Once you beat the game, you get the trophy. You don't have to worry about none of that stuff. Thank God for that. Also, I like to add, when it comes to New Game Plus, if you remember on the last game, when you unlocked all your upgrades, of course, in your weapons, but you didn't use those weapons till you found them, till you actually got to the point to where you unlocked the shotgun. This time you get all your weapons straight off the bat. You start out be able to use all that stuff when you get to Seattle. Now, mind you, at the very beginning when you play as Ellie, you still have the upgraded, rifle and everything like that, but you unlock all your options, your weapon options, once you get to Seattle. Which, that's good. You don't have to find, there's a gun you get late in the game at the very end, which is the M16, and you got that right off the bat. Right when you start, you don't have to wait till you get to Santa Barbara to get it. So that's pretty cool. You get all your explosive arrows and your regular arrows. There's no incendiary arrows, only explosive and regular. So I thought that was a really good touch for the game that they went ahead and went that route. But anyway, if I was to score this from a personal review, like again, I'm playing on New Game Plus right now. There's no New Game Plus trophy. Like I said, once you beat the game, you get the trophy. You don't have to worry about that stuff. One other thing, when it comes to difficulty, once you beat the game and you unlock New Game Plus and so on and so forth, you unlock a customization difficulty. And you'll remember, if you've ever played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, you can customize the main difficulty, how resourceful your items spawn, or how scarce. The AI difficulty, and so on and so forth. If you remember, like, again, Shadow of the Tomb Raider did this stuff too. They had the different difficulty settings for each. I think they had that from the get-go though. But you have to actually beat the game to do a customization difficulty, which is really, really cool. Especially if you say you want resources to be more abundant, but you want the enemies to be harder. You can customize that. It's very cool. But with that being said, this is my thoughts on the game. If I was to give it a score out of 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, I would give it a 9. I would give it a 9, and I would have gave it a 10 if the story was something original, but it's not. It's not a bad story, don't get me wrong. It's just, we've seen it, at least I have seen it, through many years of gaming and many years of watching movies. It's an eye for an eye scenario. It's just done better. This is done better through how Naughty Dog always has a special touch on their games to make each game different. But I would give it a 9 out of 10. Everything else is superb, top notch. It's a great game. I highly recommend playing it. If you're on the fence about it because of the leaks, again, there's one thing that I would agree with Neil Druckmann on, is seeing the leaks is totally different than actually playing this game from start to finish, because it's amazing how they pieced it all together. And a lot of haters out there, saying, oh, we're going to boycott. At the end of the day, people, it's a video game. All these people making a stir about, oh, we're going to boycott. If you got that much time, you need therapy. Just saying. It's still, at the end of the day, it's still a video game. It's not going to take away your birthday. It's not going to fucking pay your damn bills. It's a video game in which you spend money on if you choose to play it. But I recommend it. I was up on the fence about it when I saw the leaks, but hey man, either I bought the video game or didn't. I bought it. I got tired of waiting. Games getting pushed back. I need something new to play. That's just my personal thing. This is my personal opinion on how I operate. If it's bad, it's bad. Hey, I lost $60. Whatever. I'm grown. I have a job. I can afford it. But I'm not going to be biased in this situation. A lot of people are giving this game a 10. I don't think it deserves a 10. I believe it deserves a 9 at best. But that is just my personal opinion. It's a great game. I do recommend it. Like I said, if you're up on the fence, don't be. I ain't going to lead you in the wrong direction. I'm being upfront and honest with you. Fuck the leaks. Don't worry about what the hell they say. Go out and play it for yourself. You won't regret it. Have a good one.